What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out the channel. As we all know, the Harley's releasing their 2025 bikes here in a few days. I figured I'd jump on that and kind of give you my thoughts, what I think may come out, and what I'd personally like to see from Harley Davidson. I don't have any inside access or scoop or anything, just my predictions, kind of what I've seen from Harley through the years and what they've put on other models. Let's talk about the lowriders. I'm going to talk about the S and the ST. I'm kind of grouping them together here. Let's start with what we kind of already know from the pictures that are leaked. It looks like they're going to get the 117 high output engine, which nothing wrong with that. Never have enough power. 2-to-1 exhaust looks like it's going to be coming on these bikes, which if it does, that's great. I hope Harley changes the saddlebags finally on the ST to make them match. It drives me nuts that the saddlebags aren't the same size on each side. They're different. It's because they did 2-into-2 exhaust from the factory, and I don't know why Harley did design that. So hopefully the bags are the same size. I hope to see them just like an inch or two a little bit wider. Actually, personally, I like to see them a little bit more wider for more storage. When I travel on my Dyna, I take about a 4,000 to 5,000 mile trip every year on the Dyna on camping. It is loaded down. With my Leather Pros are fully stretched out. It's loaded down. I predict that they're going to have a detachable tour pack from the Harley designed to flow with the lines of the ST. The FXRT back in the day had a detachable tour, well, not detachable, it was on there all the time, you can remove it. They had a tour pack option, and I predict they're going to do the same thing this year with the Lure ST. You're going to have an option to buy it with or without a tour pack, or buy the tour pack over the counter. That's just my thought. Handlebars, I really think this is going to happen because Indian did it with the Sport Chief, and it's actually been a really popular hit on the Indian Sport Chief with their customers. Is the handlebars and the risers. Indian offers two different riser heights that you can get on the bike before it gets to the dealership floor, which allows you to pick kind of where you want for your bars. Harley needs that on the lowrider ST. I hate how low the bars are. I'd rather them come up a little bit. I predict they're going to do that. And speaking of handlebars, I think they're going to finally get rid of that little LED dash that's in the riser. Again, I personally hate that thing. I'm more of a traditional style guy with analog gauges, but that's just me. But the Sportster S has that gauge that has like the GPS and stuff built into it. I predict that's going to come on the ST and the Lowrider S. I think that's going to come kind of standard feature. I hope they do, because it'd be nice to have, Let's talk about churn signals. I can't believe I even got to bring this up. Harley Davidson's 2025. Really? Halogen churn signals, why are we still using them? I predict they're finally going to have LED churn signals on the Lowrider S and ST. Actually, across all of Softail lines don't finally have LED churn signals. I don't know why they don't. Every other company has them. I just don't know. Paint. I predict they're going to have a unique paint job that they haven't had yet. The Lowrider ST always gets a unique paint job every year it's come out. I predict again this year they're also going to do the same thing, have a unique paint job for the Lowrider ST. Wheels. They kind of had the same wheels for a while. Maybe it's time to change the wheels up. Design, black, chrome, maybe a brighter bronze topperish color. I don't know, just different color maybe. And that's pretty much it for the lowriders. Now let's talk about the Fat Boy, because I think this is going to be one of the major bikes that's going to have a lot of changes. I personally didn't care for the Fat Boy when they released it on the new Softail platform. I don't like the wide rear tire. I don't like the stubby fender. I didn't care for the headlight. It just, for me, it just is no longer a Fat Boy. They changed too much at once, and I think I just never really grew into the new Fat Boy. I love the old Fat Boy, especially the Fat Boy Low, but it is the 35th anniversary for the Fat Boy this year, and look at Harley's history and what they do with anniversary models. They tend to kind of bring back the cylinder paint scheme and different features and whatnot that was unique to that bike. And the first year Fat Boy had silver paint, and the rocker boxes, of course, as an Evo, the middle rocker box was yellow or gold, or whatever you want to call it. I predict Harley Davidson's going to have a throwback silver paint scheme, the throwback traditional style Fat Boy logo on the side, the Harley logo on the side of the gas tank. I predict they're going to incorporate that yellow strip in their rocker box and maybe actually extend it down into the pushrod covers, the pushrod tubes. We'll see. And I hope, and they probably won't do it because they have such a wide of a tire, but maybe they'll make that tire shorter in the back, not as wide, and bring a wraparound fender back, the traditional fender. I think if they bring the traditional fender back, more of a traditional style headlight that the Fat Boy originally had, instead of the kind of that square, roundish, whatever you want to call that. It just drives me nuts. I think they're going to have trouble keeping them in stock if they're not priced out of the customer's reach. So I think the 35th anniversary Fat Boy is going to be a huge hit. I think you're going to see more traditional lines and traditional look to that bike. And I think if it does well, then Harley will incorporate a bunch of that stuff into next year's Fat Boy. The Heritage, I'm trying to think what you can do with the Heritage to change it. I don't know what you can do with the Heritage to really change it up. Heritage is just, it's the name alone, Heritage. I mean, it's been the same bike forever. I don't know what you would do to change it. You know, you took away the studs that they originally had and the soft leather pads for hard leather pads with kind of a rectangle stud on it, and kind of blacked it out. So I'm not sure what you do with the Heritage. Let's talk about the Deluxe. Harley canceled the Deluxe, and I think they're probably going to bring it back. And the reason I say that is because when I worked for Harley Davidson, a lot of female riders bought the Deluxe because of the way it looked. It had that very traditional, very nice lines to it. It was all blacked out. It had a low seat height. It fit them very, very well. And I predict they're going to bring that bike back with some changes. And I predict they're going to have a chrome version and an all blacked out version of that bike. And if you take a classic two-tone paint scheme on that Deluxe and you make it blacked out with the right color combination, that's going to be bitchin'. It will look sharp. So I think that's going to come back too. And I'm going to go way off in left field here with a crazy prediction. And like I said, crazy. I'm being crazy here. The Sport Glide. Harley canceled that bike. And I think they're going to bring it back. But I think they're going to bring it back with a road glide style fairing. Probably not as big, but a similar road glide style fairing. I predict it's going to have a tourer pack. I predict it's going to have the hard pads. It's going to have fully adjustable front suspension, inverted, of course. I predict it's going to have a really nice performance reverse shock. That's going to actually raise the bike up a little bit for a little bit more ground clearance, for a little more better lane angling. They don't take the four controls that the Sport Glide had originally, which I don't know why Harley does what they do. But anyway, I predict they're going to put mid controls on it, and it's not going to be raked out like it was. I predict they're going to bring it, suck it in close. I think they're going to build that bike to kind of mimic their Akina the Badger's bike. Now, granted, it's a road glide. I get it, blah, blah, blah. But the Sport Glide, if you go back in history and look at the Sport Glide, I can see him doing that. And I can see it selling too. A lot of people are actually going from a bigger bike to a smaller bike. If you offer a bike like a Lowrider ST with more storage options, I think it would sell better than it already does. Just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Think if I'm crazy, think I'm spot on. If there's anything you think that they're going to do that I didn't think about, share below. Until next time, ride safe.